Hey guys, Keith here. It is minus 41 today. And let me tell you, it's cold. My lungs hurt. Just shoveled a little bit outside. It's kind of crazy. I'll shoot you around the corner here and let you see. I don't know if you can kind of see through the dirty window. You can hear the wind whistling? That's what we're dealing with. She is like really, really cold out. Anyways, back to what we've been doing a little bit. I've been working on this newer dump truck of ours, the C5500. Give you a little bit of an update from the last video. Change oil, change transmission, fluids, and filters. Still got a gas filter to do. We haven't done that yet. We're having some issues with this truck. It runs awesome. The issue I'm having is and maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. It won't do. We had the Speedo. Hang on a second. I'm going to find a spot here. We had the Speedo rebuilt because it was showing really weird numbers, like 130, 140 when we were driving around the yard. So we had it rebuilt, put it back in, still the same thing. We take the truck out onto the highway, and it shows 160 on the thing, but we're actually only doing 63 kilometers an hour, and the truck governs out. So I took it over to a mechanic buddy. We hooked up his computer, his live thing, and so what the ABS is showing is 63 kilometers, the ABS sensors. But when he does his live report, it shows the transmission has got a speed of 145 kilometers, and then the truck governs out, won't shift, won't go any higher. So we're thinking it's the sensor on the transmission. So in the new year, we're going to replace that and then look at the wiring harness. We found some literature online that says that it needs to be reprogrammed. The computer to the instrument cluster needs to be reprogrammed. We did that. That didn't help. So yeah, I'm thinking the sensors on the transmission that sense the speed have to be screwed up. I don't know. So we're going to replace them. They're like $55. There's two of them. There's an input on the front of the transmission and an export on the back of the transmission. So I think we're just going to replace both because the parts are fairly reasonable. If that doesn't work, then the mechanic said he's going to do an ohm test on the actual wiring harness. Yeah, and then go from there. But that'll be in the new year. So that's kind of giving you a heads up. That's probably why the truck has such low kilometers, because these guys couldn't figure out why, and they never drove it on the highway. It was just an in-town truck because it couldn't get over 63 kilometers an hour. We're installing an aux. It's an aux beam control panel. It's something new. I'll show you a little bit of that here in a bit. And yeah, so we haven't done a whole lot to the truck besides fluid changes and trying to figure out this issue with the speed. We've been working on that. In the meanwhile, me and Mike are going to start wiring this for beacons and backup lights and backup alarms and flashers for the backup and some box lights and stuff. But we had to get this controller in first, and I'm going to take you around and show you a little bit of that. So here's this aux beam. This is the controller that plugs in, and I'll show you where this is going to go on the dash. And then you get these little stickers that you put on the screen, and you can kind of put on whatever you want. Floodlights, backup lights, beacon lights, strobe lights, different stuff, heated seats, whatever you want. And those stickers will go into each one of these slots. And then you just turn it on, turn it off. Instead of having a bunch of toggle switches, this all goes down to a main control. I'll show you that right now. Now in this main control, it wires into the truck's battery. So what we did is we found these trucks got a little toolbox at the bottom here. So what we did is We haven't finished wiring this yet, but we're getting ready to wire this. So this is the control box, and then that cord will go through this wall and go down to the batteries down below here. But this little box is kind of the heart and soul of everything. So then your junctions go in here. I'll just pop this open and show you. Just give me a second. So this box has relays and then fuses for each one of those switches. And this is like switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the wires just go in there for the positive, and then ground to the frame for the negative. And then there's a cover on it. And then this just fits down in my toolbox. This is where all the wires, this is the wire that comes from that controller that I showed you. That way it's all going to be in a cubby hole and good to go. That'll be kind of right there, stuck to the, mounted to the thing. And then that way, all your lights will be right there, controlled by 6 switches. Or you can do a manual off, manual on, and go from there. And you guys were wondering how many kilometers are on this truck? I'll give you a shot there. Oh, hang on a second. You can hear the fuel pump running. And that's what's on this truck. So it's a 2003. I'm figuring they had issues with whatever, they couldn't get it on the highway. We're gonna figure that out. But if you guys have any comments, let me know. But yeah, she's got 66,000 K on a 2003. And we went back and checked the history because I thought that was just too good to be true. For the truck, we checked the history of the truck. There's only 2 owners, so we're actually the 3rd owner. And I'm assuming the first owner probably sold to the 2nd owner with a transmission. Not doing that. He had 2 trucks, so he never drove this thing. He just kind of parked it and used it as a backup truck or for an in-town truck. But anytime he had to go out on the highway to do a job, he didn't take this truck. So now we're going to spend a little money diagnosing why it won't. It's got to be something simple, just a bad sensor or something. But if you guys have any ideas, please leave a comment in the thing for something for us to look into. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks for watching this video. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, because this is probably going to be released close to Christmas. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.